All right, so one of the biggest areas of concern, of course, was Fort Myers Beach, especially with that storm surge when it started to make its way on shore.
Yeah, and we saw at the time when the light was up, we could see the storm surge coming across the Estero Boulevard. And we do have crews making their way towards Fort Myers Beach. So we're going to check in right now with Alexia Tsiropoulos. So, Alexia, where are you right now?
Hi, Lisa, Alan, good morning. I am here right before the bridge going into Fort Myers Beach. I believe this is San Carlos. It's dark, so you can't really see lights very well. All those lights are out. We had to put a lot of lights up just so you can see what's in the road here. So this is the reason why I would not suggest driving out here right now. And there's actually LCSO deputies blocking Pine Ridge Road. So they even told us, if you come out here, it is at our own risk. It's a danger to come out here. They don't know how high the waters are still. They don't even know what's in the roads. So we stopped here actually because we started to see stuff like, for instance, this dumpster behind us in the middle of the roadway here in one of the lanes. And if you're driving, you might not see it. So this is why it's important not to drive right now. Do not explore through these areas. That's why we are here. And if you're listening on the radio, let me explain some of these other items we are seeing. This looks like a crate also in the middle of the road here near the bridge going into Fort Myers Beach, and it's a crate that looks like it was carrying wood or other heavy items, and this was all transported through mangroves that are behind us to the middle of the roadway. And although there's a driver here right now, again, this is not something that even deputies are saying for you to come and explore. So again, I will say it, I will continue to say it, do not come out here, but I do want to venture to the other side of the road here. We'll make sure that no cars are coming to stay safe. I do want to show you also what's on this side of the road. Pretty unique, it made it this far. This is a refrigerator. I'm not sure if you can see it here, but this is on the complete side of the road here. And obviously houses from where we are not that close to here. So the fact that this carried itself through what I'm imagining is storm surge and high winds. There's a refrigerator also in the middle of the road here, again, along San Carlos Boulevard. And the journey from Fort Myers Beach, our station in Fort Myers to Fort Myers Beach, was a slow one. We wanted to make sure we were going slow, taking it easy as we were driving here, since there's debris, trees scattered everywhere. This is just hours after Hurricane Milton passed our coast here, and this is something that a lot of deputies and emergency vehicles haven't even been able to come out here and inspect themselves. Now, I did talk to the mayor on Fort Myers Beach. He did tell us he's out there right now clearing roadways as quick as he can. He wants residents to be able to get home safely soon, and those re-entry passes are important to have before you cross over that bridge. And they tell me that you'll be able to pick those up at Target near Fort Myers Beach today as well, if you don't have those yet, if you didn't collect those before the storm. So all of this information will be on our website, NBC2.com. And a reminder again, like I said, I will say it all day, do not come out here and explore just yet. At least wait till the sun's out and just be cautious as you're driving around at all, anywhere in Southwest Florida today. I'm reporting right before Fort Myers Beach. Alexia Tsiropoulos, back to you guys.
We're going to go down to up to Fort Myers Beach now from Collier County. Alexia Tsiropoulos is live from Snug Harbor and Wahoo Willie's there as you continue to go around the island and assess the damage that Fort Myers Beach saw. Alexia.
Good morning, guys. Yes, we were just at Nervous Nellie's, which is right across the street here, and now we are at Snug Harbor. I actually had a call early this morning with Peter Ennis, who owns Snug Harbor and Wahoo Willie's, and he was asking me questions how his restaurant looks, and what better way than just to show you. So let's take you along here to see what is happening here. This is a place that flooded during Hurricane Helene. Obviously, Hurricane Ian saw the worst damage. What we're seeing now, is not as bad as Hurricane Ian whatsoever. There's just chairs that were tied down during Hurricane Helene and now Hurricane Milton. These chairs are still all together, but Hurricane Milton did push them over here, but they are still in place. None of them are in the water over here, which is good to see. And of course, you just have piles of debris, life jackets here as well, and parts of a roof. I'm not sure if this is Snug Harbor's roof or another place next door. I know there's an apartment complex right behind us, so it might be their roof as well. But overall, the damage here, the building is intact. Chairs, again, just scattered across the way here. Looks like their TVs are actually still standing too, which is great news. And boats are all still in the water as well here, which is great to see. And none of these boats were the ones that made it on land near Nervous Nellies. That actually came from, we were just talking to the mayor, and get this, that came from Moss Marina, which is behind us here. So that is crazy to hear that. That boat made it all the way over there. Luckily, again, no boat here though for Snug Harbor. Just, again, some of their equipment scattered across the way here, just stuff that they are going to have to start cleaning up sooner rather than later if they want to open anytime soon. And I heard you guys referencing curfews in other places. I do want to mention there is still a curfew here, 24-hour curfew until Hurricane Milton damages are cleaned up. We just spoke with the mayor, who says that they are working on that right now. Lee County has people coming over the bridge as we speak to help clean up the sand and debris that are in the roadways here. The mayor said their truck actually got stuck a few times as they were cleaning out debris along the way, and warned us of it, not to go further than really the base of the bridge. So this is something that we will be watching out for, of course, before you guys come to the island. Let us be your eyes and ears. I know we've said that all morning, but we will continue to say it. This is not safe yet for you to come out here. It is a little bit windy, but the conditions are fine. It's more of what could be in your way and what hazards are out on the streets. But this is the latest here for you guys from Fort Myers Beach. I'm Alexia Tsiropoulos. Back to you guys.
Very concerned about. And we saw some of the storm surge coming across as we were watching our live cameras from like Margaritaville, for example.
Right, and we do have reporters out there. I just want to make sure that they're able to go live for us right now and tell us and show us a little bit about what's going on out there, because we've got Alexia Tsiropoulos. Alexia, you've been there. You've covered Fort Myers Beach for quite some time. You've covered the storm surge that came from Helene and the damages left behind. But what are you seeing out there right now? Because it's kind of ominous. It's like a nice sunny day there on the beach, and we just had Milton come storming through.
Yeah, guys, that's the best way to put it. It's actually a nice summer breeze almost out here, but it's hard to ignore the fact that there's sand and bricks lying all over Times Square here. And something interesting I want to point out that I mentioned, I believe it was yesterday ahead of Hurricane Milton, these barriers here, the town put these out in order to help prevent sand from coming into Times Square, Fort Myers Beach. It's something new they wanted to try out. They said they have tried some other things in the past, but this is not something they've done before. So they wanted to see if this could work, holding the sand back. What's really interesting as we walk along here, I'm gonna hop over some trees here, so I just wanna make sure we're staying safe and my photographer's staying safe over there as well. So they are lining the beach area here, but what's rather interesting is to see how strong the storm surge really is. So as you look over here just past me, ooh, again, there's bricks over here we need to make sure we're careful of. As you look past me though, the storm surge actually came through and broke off parts of this barrier. So I'm not sure, I'm not an expert here. I can't tell you if this really did help the sand come through the area, but you can see broken pieces of the barrier. So it's just crazy. Again, this was not Hurricane Ian. We have seen the damage that Hurricane Ian caused, but something like this with Hurricane Milton, which was still a major hurricane, caused a brick, like a massive brick. I can't get over the fact that these are heavy. I tried to push one back and it didn't go very well. So the fact that storm surge was able to push this over, break them apart, and come still through this area, I know it's something that the town is obviously still trying to perfect a way to prevent sand and storm surge to come into Times Square. So this is something that they will look at, review, and look at what they should do for the next storm. But I just thought that was interesting to show you guys at home. I'm reporting here on Fort Myers Beach in the Times Square area. Alexia Tsiropoulos, back to you.
Boats next to some of our favorite restaurants on Fort Myers Beach, but this morning there are now boats where tables once were, literally next to the restaurants. Alexia Tsiropoulos is on Fort Myers Beach giving us a look at the conditions near the famous Nervous Nellies.
We're on Fort Myers Beach in between two restaurants here. We have Nervous Nelly's and Snug Harbor, very popular restaurants. Something that isn't popular is having a boat right beside your dining table. This unfortunately came in during Hurricane Milton. The scariest part of all is we don't know how it got here. We just finished talking with the mayor. He said he knows the owner and it came from a marina down the way. So I want to show you the damage that is with this boat coming through here. Luckily the restaurant is okay, I will say that. They just have some damage here, just some aesthetic things, I guess. You have this little bit of scratching right here on the walls. Again, here in this storm drain, you have some bending here. So this would sadly have to be replaced. But the good news is the building itself is okay, and it looks like the boat's okay too. So this is one of the biggest things we've seen so far that's out of place here on Fort Myers Beach. I'm Alexia Tsiropoulos. Back to you guys.
Yeah, that is something you don't see every
And on Fort Myers Beach, more damage there, this time from Milton.
Yeah.
It seems like as they're starting to rebuild, they just get slammed by Helene 2 weeks ago and then Milton last night.
And then Ian before that. We want to go now to Alexia Tsiropoulos. She is live and local. Crews are out there clearing the sand that I swear they just cleaned a few days ago before the storm.
Yeah, you're right by that. This sand, sadly, all that work almost for nothing because another hurricane happens and now they're out there cleaning it again. And it looks like there's almost more sand this time, I would say, than during Hurricane Helene. I was out here then too, and those sand piles were about half of what you're looking at over there. That size of that is over my head. Easy 12 feet right there of sand. And the cool thing is they've actually collected that within hours. Like we were just here an hour or so ago, and they, in an hour, pulled all that sand from the roads here and pulled it all into a pile to then transport that back to the beach. Another cool thing I want to show you is just how much equipment they brought in here just to make sure this is possible for residents. Residents are supposed to come back on the island at noon today. All of them, we can tell you, on that side of the bridge, they are ready to come home. That is something we kept hearing from them, some even trying to get out of their cars to drive, or not drive over the bridge, but to walk over the bridge instead and leave their cars there. They're that eager to come home, which I can't blame them, but workers here are trying to make sure it's ready for them when they do return. One of the viewers we talked to, he said that his house, he was worried about it because it flooded during Helene, but he said this storm, he's hopeful. He's hopeful when he walks through that door of his house that there's no water damage inside. He said he did everything he could to prepare, and he left the island, which is different than, he said, what he did for Hurricane Ian. So a lot of these residents tell me they are now taking every storm, each and every storm, seriously from here on out, which is good to hear. And again, crews are still working here, so we will bring you the latest from Fort Myers Beach. I'm Alexia Tsiropoulos. Back to you guys.
All right, Alexia, thank you so much. We do want to
As many of us start to see destruction that Milton has left on Southwest Florida.
Yeah, some are comparing this storm to the one that happened 2 years ago, let alone 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I mean, man, it's been crazy. Alexia Tsiropoulos is near the Matanzas Pass Bridge with a look at how the island looks now compared to after Ian.
Hey guys, we are here at the base of the bridge, the Matanzas Pass Bridge, in Fort Myers this time. And what I wanted to show you is this area here behind us. If you remember it, during Hurricane Ian, shrimp boats were stacked on top of each other like Lego pieces. And right now, obviously, the area is clear. That's good news that no more boats are piled up after Hurricane Milton. The only thing piled up is debris over here, something much easier to clean up. And I know residents are happy to see the conditions here today. We've talked to a few as they are waiting to cross over that bridge. And again, that should open today at noon for you. I'm reporting near Fort Myers Beach, Alexia Tsiropoulos.
With Milton's storm surge came a lot of sand, displacement of sand, and I know they had worked so hard just to put it back, and then here we go again. So Alexia Tsiropoulos is getting us a look at the sand removal process once again as crews are beginning the cleanup along the shoreline. I believe she is on Fort Myers Beach.
Sand removal has begun here on Fort Myers Beach. As you can see, we have workers from Public Works in the town of Fort Myers Beach here trying to put the beach back together again. And these barriers here behind us, it's an interesting thing I want to show you. The town had put these out to try to prevent sand from coming too far from the Gulf into Times Square and through the rest of the streets here in Fort Myers Beach. It's something that's new. They haven't tried this before. And I would say maybe it was successful, maybe not, as we are standing on a lot of sand here. We have crews out there. The Lee County staff have pulled crews here to Fort Myers Beach to help gather that sand back before we can even drive further than this on Fort Myers Beach. We haven't been able to leave the base of the bridge because of the sand. So I think the town will be reviewing this idea to see how they can better perfect it for next time. And again, obviously you can't control Mother Nature, so this is something that they have to keep trying different ways to see what works best for them. I'm reporting here on Fort Myers Beach in Times Square. Alexia Tsiropoulos, back to you guys.
You can't. Trying to bring you updates as well about what you need to know as you're getting out and about in your community this morning, or this afternoon.
It's a habit for
I'm
us.
a morning anchor
We're
on
morning
ABC,
anchors.
so it's normally I'm getting up at 1:16 a.m., not anchoring at 1:16 p.m.
That's right. Alexia Tsiropoulos used to join us every morning, but then she got tired of that alarm clock and went to the afternoon schedule, and she's in Fort Myers Beach right now, I think.
Gotta say, I like that sleep. Sorry, guys. So I am here on Fort Myers Beach. I will say everyone is just coming down this bridge. They are excited to be home finally after getting evacuated from Hurricane Milton. Now, not only that, I want to bring you over here to some businesses. We'll just walk around here. Some are reopening finally. They've been able to get back on the island themselves, specifically H2O. I know I pass this store every time I'm here, and it's a staple for me every time I'm down here. So I know a lot of residents think that as well. And this is something that seeing these doors open up as they're taking water out of their store. There was a little bit inside, it looked like, but they're in good spirits. They're laughing with each other as they're cleaning up, which is quite nice to see. We haven't seen many other business owners return just yet. It's been quite busy, obviously, with sand getting taken back to the beaches here, getting cleaned out of the streets. It's been a busy morning, but they have been very active making this ready for residents to come back home. I'm reporting here on Fort Myers Beach. Alexia Tsiropoulos.
Glad to see they're back on the island.
We continue to go back to our crews who are all over Southwest Florida getting the latest on the situation in Fort Myers Beach and Sanibel and all over. Let's go to Alexia Tsiropoulos, who's on Fort Myers Beach right now.
Sheriff Marcino just wrapped up a press conference here on the beach in Fort Myers Beach. Behind us, you can see all the trucks they would have used in water rescues. Although for Hurricane Milton, he says a lot of people heeded to the warnings that we were giving to you guys at home, saying stay away from those evacuation zones. No one had to be rescued. He did say a lot of people were in the shelters, which is awesome. And he says for those that don't have power still, if you need to rebuild at all, he does not want any looting. And if you loot, he says there will be consequences. That's the latest from here on Fort Myers Beach. I'm Alexia Tsiropoulos.